Hello and welcome to the Articy Draft Importer for Unity tutorial series. During this series we will take a look at how to access imported Articy data within Unity with the goal of displaying branching dialog. The Articy Draft Importer for Unity takes care of getting all the data you want from Articy into the game engine. Within Unity, the Articy Flow Player component does a lot of heavy lifting in the background and takes care of the flow traversal, among other things. However, which data to access and how to display that data in our project is totally on us. That means that some C# coding will be required. This is where this tutorial series comes in. We will start out with a small Unity project and step by step update it to a point where we can trigger and display the branching dialog we imported from Articy. Depending on your personal project, you can then go with the same approach or at least use it as a basis you can modify to fit your needs. The Articy to Unity workflow we are going to set up will make life easier for writers and designers, as they can work in Articy but within moments can see and test changes in the Unity project. In this first lesson we will take a look at our Unity project and get the Articy importer for Unity from the asset store and install it. Then we will switch to Articy Draft to have a quick look at the project on that end, followed by exporting the Articy data to Unity. Back in Unity we will make sure that our data is ready to use by doing a quick check with the included Debug Flow Player. Okay, let's get right to it. There is one scene in this Unity project. At the time of the recording I am working with a Unity 2020.3 LTS version. We keep the project as simple as possible to not distract from its main focus, to show how the implementation of the Articy importer works. In a small game area, we have a controllable player character and two NPCs. The player can move around and talk to the NPCs by pressing space when in their proximity. You can download the small demo project plus the Articy project if you want to follow along or play around in it. You will find two zipped Unity projects in the download. One is the base version, which can be used to follow the course, and the other one is the final version, which is the completely finished project as it will look like at the end of the series. All download links can be found in the video description. On the player character there is a player controller script, which takes care of movement and interactions. The NPCs have a dialog holder script on them, which is just for simulating dialogue at this stage. On the canvas we have the dialog widget, with a box for text and two buttons. As you have seen, we can display text, but the buttons are without function at the moment, as the entire widget is supposed to be connected to and combined with Articy functionality later anyways. Last but not least, we have a Dialog Manager game object, with a Dialog Manager script on it. In here we will spend a lot of time in the coming tutorial parts. First order of business is to install the Articy Draft importer for Unity, which we can get from the asset store, for free of course. Search for Articy Draft or use the link in the video descriptions to jump to the importer right away. Click the Add to My Assets button. If you then click Open in Unity, we will directly go to the Package Manager. Alternatively, you can open it from selecting Window in the Unity menu bar and then selecting Package Manager. Make sure to have My Assets selected from the drop-down menu, then look for the Articy Draft importer in the list. Now you can download and then import the package. I already have the package on my computer, this is why it goes straight to import for me. In case a patch comes out for the importer and there's a new version, you will also get the option to update here. For the import window, leave everything checked and click Import. We now have an Articy importer folder in our assets. But before we continue with that, we will switch over to Articy Draft for a moment. This is the Articy project, with the dialogues we want to bring over to Unity. Two final dialogues and two small test dialogues we will use for the step-by-step implementation of our dialogue system in the game. All dialogues are set up in a way that we use dialogue nodes as containers and dialogue fragments for the entire dialogue content, plus some organizational elements like hubs, jumps or condition nodes. How do we get all this over into Unity? That's really easy. Select Export from the main menu and choose Unity. We will use the default export rule set, which will export the entire project. Totally fine for our little demo scene. With the help of rule sets, you can customize your export. For example, if you don't want to export all data types, or in a bigger project want to divide up the export to multiple packages to make it easier to load them during runtime. If you are interested to learn more about rule sets, you can find a link to the Help Center entry in the video description. All we need to do for our export is to specify the export folder, which needs to be the asset folder of the Unity project or a subfolder of it. The data is automatically imported to Unity. You can also trigger the import manually by selecting Tools from the menu bar, Articy Draft Importer, and then Import Articy Draft Export File. As the import needs to compile code, errors somewhere else in the project might lead to a failure of the automatic import. In that case, you can trigger a manual import after fixing any errors. As a side note, at some point a Gizmos folder will appear in your assets. It belongs to the Articy importer. We don't need to do anything with it. I just wanted to mention it in case you are like me and wonder if things suddenly appear. Now let's do a quick check to verify if everything went okay with the import. Tools, Articy Draft Importer, and Show Database Panel. All the data is here. In the Articy import folder under Helper, then Prefabs, we find an Articy Debug Flow Player. It's like the name suggests, mainly for debugging purposes. But we can use it to get a first glimpse of our dialog data here in Unity. It works only with a canvas, so we drag the Debug Flow Player over in the hierarchy and add it to our canvas object. Now all that's left to do is to select the Debug Flow Player object in the hierarchy and scroll to the Articy Flow Player component in the inspector. Here we need to select an object to start on. Then we can hit play. We are able to traverse through the dialog we have seen earlier in Articy. Isn't that something? In the next lesson, we will start laying the foundation to be able to display a dialog from Articy in our own custom dialog UI. See you there!